Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is a video that is going to be a little different because I have a special guest. Yeah, I have Lathan Britz. He is somebody from the XRP community and has developed a very interesting XRP ledger monitoring and tracking tool. It's the one you may have seen that is the globe that tracks all that XRP that's paired with Fiat, sniffing out the transactions that are happening from exchange to exchange, and it really creates something visually just so beautiful. So Lathan is here to tell us a little bit about it and maybe some of the thoughts behind creating it, and as well as maybe what is going to happen in the future with all of this beautiful technology. So Lathan, welcome. Welcome. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, so I'm a web developer for quite a number of years. Recently stumbled on the XRP ledger and 3JS. How did I get into all of this? Kind of, I think playing around a little bit with WebSockets, being able to connect into the different exchanges and actually into the XRP ledger itself. Again, a plug to Elliot for the lovely API. And then I did some work for DevNull, which I think, I can't remember the validator there on. I'll find it later.
Yeah, I find him, or I follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, he created a tool for your Flare account, reclaiming your Flare, and that was again JavaScript, and that got me into more JavaScript. And he does, or did, a fair amount of work with 3JS in the past. And when I was throwing around ideas of how to kind of build some stuff, he was always pointing me in the direction of that. So two and two together, I was pretty much gung-ho for it. And then I stumbled upon the GitHub globe, which shows the commits, where you can actually see the different paths of where the commit is opened and then it's closed, and then the line runs across the globe and so forth. And that implementation of that globe was very well done. A lot of thought went into that. There's a lovely article on that if you ever want to go and look it up, GitHub globe. So after all of that, putting that all together, dived in head first to try and build something myself.
Yeah, well, that's why it's so interesting. It's really twofold. It gives us an idea of the possible on-demand liquidity that could be happening when we've got the one exchange taking that money, moving it to another exchange somewhere else, and then the representation of all the lines that are colored. And the way it builds itself out is just unbelievably beautiful. So why don't you go ahead and share your screen and show everyone what it is and how we might interpret what we are seeing here. That's and explain how the tool works on that upper right-hand side of it too, where you can take some of the Fiat pairings away, or you can have them all.
Yeah, you can see my screen, right? Just got it right there.
Yeah, so when you create, or when you bring this up, you'll see that you kind of start from scratch. You don't have any
yeah, so I'll just reload the page.
Yeah, you don't have any activity, so you've got just, and then all of a sudden you'll start to see the transactions appear.
Yeah, so what we've got going on at the moment, all the vertexes are exchanges. What the tool is doing is looking what Fiat is kind of, let me just pause that for a second. Wrong one. So what the tool is doing is looking where that exchange is selling its Fiat. If it's selling into, I think it's Indonesia. It'll randomly, it's got a bucket over here of where Indonesia is on the map, and it'll randomly pick a spot of where it's going to drop its line based on the Fiat pair. So this exchange will sell into multiple Fiat. You'll see it'll sell into Indonesia, and then obviously it'll come around the globe, and it's selling into South African Rand. So that exchange, just by those two pairs, I actually know that exchange over there is Luna. So that's the Luna exchange
Yeah,
that's
I
actually
know those
coming across. And that's
Luna
actually,
exchange
that's
in
right.
South Africa, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's Nigeria. So there, Luna also sells XRP into Nigeria, right? That's where that line's dropping. And the same thing, just repeated across the globe for the different fiat pairs. This is Korea over here.
Oh, yeah.
Here is Japan.
Where's Japan? Is
Oh.
Japan the?
Sorry. Who's that? So Japan is the island over here.
Yep.
I can't remember what exchange this is. That's,
I think I saw you have BitBank, right? Does that sound familiar?
yeah, I'll actually pull up the code in a bit, and I'll kind of like just quickly skim through like the bits and bobs of what exchanges I've actually got hooked up. It's the idea is eventually there's going to be markers that'll show you when you hover over the different pieces to tell you, this is exchange XYZ, and so forth. And everything is real time. There's no persistence of this data. This data is as it happens on the exchange, the actual selling of fiat. So if I pull out the developer window, for instance, over here.
Oh, right. This is something I haven't seen this. Is that only on your end?
You can do it as well. You've got to go
Really?
to the developer tools of your browser.
Okay, I didn't get that far.
You can actually see the fiat here running across. This is the fiat that's getting sold at the bottom. So there's Binance, BitTurk, Mercado Libre, all the exchanges. You can see this is the fiat actually running live off those exchanges that are getting sold. You can actually see that.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that was there. What have you noticed is the most active corridor?
At the moment, the one that seems to be selling the most, it seems to be LiquidFX. I think that's LiquidFX running into Japan. This purple over here is Kraken, but it's not, it is quite active, but it's not the most. The most active, obviously, is Binance. Binance is running the most XRP into fiat at the moment of any exchange. The next big one over here with most of the activity at the moment is located in Turkey. This is Turkey. This is BitTurk in the blue, and this is Binance in the yellow coming across into Turkey.
Interesting.
So when we get further below into the tool, this is only mapping fiat. At the moment, there's no mapping of XRP between Binance and BitTurk at the moment. You don't actually see that connection, even though I am connected to the XRP ledger. That data is only further down at the moment. But once I've fixed, at the moment, the globe doesn't perform very well with performance. If you leave it open for a while, the computer will kind of burn a fiery death because it'll eat your graphics card alive because there's just too much going on it, right? So there's an option over here at the top right to kind of just pause data, and that'll just stop the render of what's actually happening. So the idea is kind of that if you want to sit and look at the globe, I wouldn't recommend it at the moment. I stuck it on the front page, but there is a button below that says full screen, if I can get there. And fire that up, and then you can just go to the globe. And then obviously you can toggle your pairs. I can switch this around to actually be toggling the exchanges, but I haven't spent too much more time on the globe because I'm actually developing the globe out further to be doing, instead of drawing a line, one line and just keeping it there, what I'm actually wanting to do is to have the trail and then to see like a, what do you call it, a laminated water flow of the actual arc going into the exchange and then disappearing. So I want this to actually render once off. I don't want it to stay on the screen. And that'll fix the performance. And once I've done that, then I'll start linking in the XRP ledger to actually show the movement of XRP back and forwards between the different exchanges. And that way we'll be able to see the two layers of data where you can actually start to see the flows of the money moving in and out the exchanges and across into the different markets.
Do we know how much one of those transfers is representing in terms of the dollar amount or the yen amount or the?
I do have that data. It's in here. If you look in the console, You can actually go and dig it out, and you can actually see the quantity is the actual amount of XRP that is being sold.
Oh,
So there was one for 6,000, there was one for 37,400. So you can actually dig that out. I haven't represented that on the globe at the moment. Again, this project, I mean, I've only been on this for what, like a week and a half. I built that out. There's still a lot more to go. There's a lot more fine tuning. I've decided just to throw it up as I develop it, and people can enjoy the experience while I run at it. Obviously, because I'm one person, it's going to happen for a while, stop for a bit, happen for a while, stop for a bit. I've also got a life to live. So yeah.
Yes.
But it's coming together nicely.
Yeah, it's a project in development, as most software is. It's constantly in its revisions, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing you build out on this and to see what the latter versions are going to be.
Yeah, and the other thing also for people to note is it's very difficult to connect up every single exchange around the world. We don't have access into all the exchange APIs. The ones that we do, the one exchange is different to the other, so they don't speak kind of the same language. You've got to code it per exchange, one by one, and go through the APIs, read what's available, what's not available. Not everything is on WebSockets. There are some exchanges that aren't available on WebSockets. We have to go then pull that data off via REST if it's available. And a REST request is a lot slower than a WebSocket. A WebSocket is real time. It's like you and me talking to each other, versus REST is kind of me having a video, sending it to you, you opening up the video and watching the video. And that process has to repeat over and over. So there are some exchanges like that on the map whereby you would see like kind of bursts of raise pop out, and that's because it's a REST request. And what else? The other thing, obviously, not all exchange APIs are in English. You got to go and translate everything for the Japanese exchanges, the Korean exchanges, so forth. You got to dig through the API, translate it. So again, I don't expect all the Fiat to be coming on the map. I'll do as much as I can. I think there's something around, I know from XRP scan, we've got around 600, it says 660 from what I counted over there. But a lot of those are not just exchanges, they're also gambling sites. So their number will come down. I'm guessing that the real number of exchanges with Fiat rails for XRP is somewhere in the 300 to 400 range.
That's a lot more than I expected. But do you have to ask permission to use their APIs, or are those APIs out there for the like SBI VC Trade doesn't make their API available, right?
Yeah, so for instance, CoinsPH, SBI VC Trade, they don't make their APIs available. Although CoinsPH does provide some APIs, their APIs are more geared to mobile applications, whereby you're actually making the payments on your phone, and it's doing the exchange through their exchange, right? So they don't provide them the data of what's actually been sold on the exchange. However, they do provide the API to actually make the exchange itself. Again, that API will be locked via an API access key or an access key. So you would have to create your account with CoinsPH. In CoinsPH, they'll provide you an API key. You would take that API key and plug it into whatever software you're using at the end of the day. And that software is what will be written by all the different, what do you call them, like, the big one that's escaping my head right now.
Coinbase?
No, it's like FlashFX. What's the other one?
FX down in Australia.
Yeah, yeah. So any of your Western, what is it? Western, wherever you make your try and convert your fiat between different fiat pairs, that's who's going to actually be providing these tools at the end of the day. You can see that by looking at the API. You can actually see, this is what they're providing you. They're allowing you to make the transaction, do X, Y, Z, and you can actually put two and two together. When you go to some of the other exchanges that are more, I would say, trader focused, They provide all the data, but they don't give you the APIs to do those other bits and bobs whereby you're actually making a payment and then moving the money into a bank account. Versus Coins.ph, you look at the API and you can actually see that. You can see, oh, there's the ability once I've made the transaction to move the money then into my bank account or pick it up at that post office over there.
Right.
Which is, it's really cool being able to like look from a developer's side to kind of find those things and go, oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm sure coins.ph is really interesting because of they have hundreds of pickup sites.
Yeah.
Throughout the country. So for the BTC markets down in Australia, since they're running ODL, do you have an API for them?
Yeah, so BTC markets is on the map. I think that green one over there, that's BTC markets over there. I think I've got 2 exchanges down here in Australia at the moment. I think it's Independent Reserve, BTC markets, and there's some other BTC exchange that's on there. However, they are kind of quiet at the moment. I don't know if I've hit all the ones that are the hot ones, but I've tried to keep my ear to what Leonidas has been putting out. So I know the ones whereby things should be happening at the end of the day. So BTC markets is obviously one. What was it? Foxbit is the other new one that's recently been coming up. That's in here as well. However, my connection to Foxbit on their WebSocket, they keep kicking me off. But I reconnect every couple of seconds. Not the best in the world, but so that is there. I don't know how good the data is there of that exchange is at the moment. But the interesting
Australia will be sleeping right now.
Yeah. So I've paused it over here, so I don't blow up my computer at the moment.
Yeah.
So you're not seeing anything more.
Yeah, I've been not. Maybe I have a good graphics card. I've been letting the globe really fill up with a lot of activity, and I've been okay. I haven't froze my system or done anything strange, but maybe it's just that I'm able to do it. But you're saying that more than what, 3-4 minutes for a lot of computers might be a little too much?
Yeah, so that's the whole thing with 3JS, right? 3JS, I don't know how new it is, but it's fairly new, I think, in comparison to the rest of 3D in the rest of the world. I'm very new. I mean, this is the first 3D software that I've ever picked up in my whole life. So I'm learning a lot every single day, figuring out how to do things. However, saying that 3JS is geared to writing 3D renderings and real-life models and so forth in web browsers.
So do you think that some of those NFTs we've seen, like I saw the horse that was moving, and also Brad Garlinghouse was holding a suitcase, and did you see that one that he was going to, I think that was based on it's faster to fly the money to a destination than to go through Swift. Did you see the NFT that was created though? Brad Garlinghouse is walking and holding this briefcase, which is supposed to be full of money. That they're using that kind of software for that. Yeah. So why can't we? Yeah, we should do an NFT with your globe, don't you think?
Sure, we can do one. I don't see any issue with creating an NFT. I mean, I think the cooler thing would be able to create an NFT whereby we're actually capturing a money flow. So for instance, you make a payment and it generates an NFT based of your payment. And you actually see the flow of data across the XRP ledger, the actual line coming across and rendering on the globe of the XRP moving, and the line of the fiat coming out. I think that's more something.
So it would actually be representative of your actual transfer.
That could be something that could be, yeah. And I think that's something more I'd be interested in than just creating an NFT for like, okay, here's an NFT of it. I mean,
is it possible to do that? I mean, if I were to send something from one wallet to another as long as, like, do you have BitTrue on here or Uphold? Do you have both of those? Yeah.
I'll get into that now. So I think we've talked enough about the globe, but if we start
Yeah.
coming down,
Hmm.
let me just, what happened over here? Let's reload this. Pause that. Come down. Why is it not running now? Ugh. I'm going to need to go into the server. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Sign in. Something crashed. Come on. I got this video in the way. I can't see the URL. That's it. So this is the back end of the server on where I'm actually hosting at the moment.
Okay.
That's on logs.
Why did you name it Rosetta Globe? Is it after the Rosetta Stone?
Well, that's the idea at the moment. I didn't know. I mean, it's just a development name.
Mm.
So Rosetta was like kind of the translation.
Mm.
But so that's what I've done. Yeah, I've just hit deploy on the server again just to, I don't know why it wasn't running. So I'm deploying that back out.
Okay.
Give me a second. It should be back up. There we go.
Okay. There we go.
So what's happening here at the moment, this is actually the XRP ledger, right? What we're seeing, the top left over here is the live XRP transactions that are going into and out of exchanges that we are looking at.
Binance to Upbit. I see that.
Yeah. On the right over here, that data over here is actually the data that's coming in for the globe.
Okay.
Those are all those transactions. So you can actually see the quantity of how much XRP is being traded over there.
Yeah, that's cool.
At the top over here, which is, I was actually quite surprised how well that worked. This is all the different fiat pairs that we're tracking. If you hover over them, it should pop up with whatever currency that is. I think we got euro, dollar, yen. I know that's rand. I think that's Korea. This is Brazil and so forth. And then we get to the interesting bit, which is your actual exchanges, right?
Okay.
The check mark over here actually represents that this exchange has been validated with XRP scan.
Okay.
That means that they have actually got physical proof of an account with that exchange. I've provided quite a number of validations for them to say, yes, this account exists and this is the correct addresses that they provide. So whenever you go to XRP scan, let's go there quick. And if you type Binance or whatever it might be, we'll do uphold. When you search that address, again, that checkbox is there. And that's the data that I've taken across and put into here, right? So it's the same checkboxes coming across. Then
you got the Thai bot down there with BitCub too.
Yeah, so as I said, I think we've got something like 600 and I think it was 660 was the rough count of the number of exchanges, quote unquote exchanges, because some of these are actually gambling sites as well that are mixed in between. I've left them on here just to see what the volume is, but I'll probably push them away or behind the scenes as we go along. But the interesting bits that we're after is kind of watching some of these destination tags. So this is a destination tag that's coming into BitCub, right? But this destination tag is actually buying XRP or BitBazaar, wherever that is, and moving that XRP onto BitCub, right? BitCub itself, at the moment, I haven't got the flows out of BitCub in the same box. You would have to go and dig through the other boxes to find a BitCub. But from my digging around, I know BitCub is quite active on Binance. Right?
Maybe Binance is supplying some of their liquidity, possibly?
Well, when you actually sit and monitor some of these more active tags, I've just unfortunately just had to restart the server here. But like, I know Uphold buys 99% of its XRP from Binance.
Huh.
Because you come to Binance, as soon as its active tags start building up, I don't know why it seems to be stuck there a little bit at the moment. But as soon as those tags start building up, you'll be able to see, oh, okay, I can see the out over here is going to, this is coming in, yeah, this is into Uphold from Coinbase.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, I'm guessing will probably be Crypto.com. But I know when I've been monitoring over the last couple of days, Binance, basically most of the exchanges are sourcing their liquidity from Binance at the moment. Even CoinsPH is sourcing some of its liquidity from there, but it's not the big destination tag or ODL tag that we've been monitoring. Is it up here? Yeah. So on CoinsPH, there's this one tag, which is 255777. And this tag is the one that's actually running all the ODL at the moment. Really? On CoinsPH. So this number over here will grow way faster than anything else that happens on this exchange, right? And if you leave this tool open for a while, you'll see that whatever this total volume is over here, this tag will consume 99.9% of that volume.
Oh, that's the lion's share.
Yeah, because it's the most active. And that's exactly what ODL is, right? As soon as you've got an active trade that's happening all the time between an exchange, boom, 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 it's gonna sum up the most XRP that's happening. And that's what we're actually starting to see here. And the nice thing about this tool is we're not having to go to every single exchange's API and connect over there because there's a language issue or they don't provide this or that. And this is the straight on the XRP ledger. We've got one connection. We see everything.
And you would have the same kind of dominant flow out of Bitso too, don't you? See that same sort of domination?
Bitso, not so much at the moment. Bitso, we do see some flow. I think what is the other one? It's Bitstamp. Bitstamp isn't up there yet. Bittrex, Kraken, no. Bitstamp is a bit active. There's a bit of action happening over there. But again, basically the only corridor that is currently ODL and active is CoinsPH, this 25557. We're still waiting for more to open up since everything is shut down, right? We've seen all the ODL actually quote unquote close its doors while everything's happening with the court case. So we're sitting now and waiting to see everything open back up. And that's the nice thing about this tool is hopefully over here, we should be able to see it happen faster than other places. I do help out on utility scan as well. I've done quite a few patches over there for some of their bits and bobs. And I'm actually hopefully going to give them a version of the map, or they've got a developer as well. So hopefully maybe we'll learn between the two of us. But he'll also eventually have that map with the globe on what is it, utility scan. But the thing with utility scan is they're actually monitoring more the fiat pairs and comparing all the values they're kind of like balancing the on here and the off there and everything in between. Whereas this is just on the XRP ledger, so we can actually see more than utility scan will be able to see. However, utility scan is kind of more of a validation that everything is 100% ODL because they're actually monitoring the fiat, right? And validating that you bought was $200 worth of XRP on Bitstamp and gone through the XRP ledger and sold, I don't know, 3,000, what is the Filipino peso, I think, whatever the equivalent is in Philippines. And then they've actually checked that validation is right.
Or
Um,
actually doing it down to the transaction amount for what?
Yeah, they've got, obviously there's rounding that happens on it. So it's not like one well, to the
To the
correct
penny.
decimal point, 100%.
Mhm.
There's obviously some kind of fuzziness that happens with everything. But I think the rounding that I've looked at that code, I think it was somewhere with 0.02%. So, I mean, that's minimal.
Yeah.
So, but again, this tool is not trying to do that. This tool is more about trying to look at everything and trying to find the more quiet ones that are starting to open up and starting to appear. It's nice to actually validate and see, yes, we can see this active tag and we can kind of compare everything against this one. We know what to look for, but we're trying to find it on the other exchanges at the moment. And that's what I'm trying to do over here. And yeah, again, this data is not yet on the globe, right? So if we scroll back up, none of that data that's happening below is yet on the globe. That's still to come. I still want to be able to draw a line from this exchange off to that exchange and say, yes, that's where the XRP flowed. But that hasn't come onto this globe yet. This is only Fiat, and this is only XRP down at the bottom.
I see. And how about Singapore? Do you have anything in terms of APIs coming out of Singapore?
Let me do this. I can actually tell you all the different Fiat
Yeah.
pairs I've got.
I'm just kind of, I have a feeling that's a corridor that's gonna guess is possibly live.
So this is the back end of my tool. And if I go down to, I'll just blow that up. These are all the exchanges I'm connected to here on the left.
Wow, I can't see them because it's a little too small for me, but I can see it's quite a list.
Let's see if I can blow that up. I'm not getting my text screen bigger, but oh wait, I know another place where that's all listed. Where is this? Fiat main. Here we go.
Oh, I can actually on the right hand side I can see. Yes.
So yeah,
A little
here again.
better.
These are all the exchanges. We've got Kraken.
There's the exchange that went live with XRP recently after they suspended the Lika or Leaky, LYKK. Yeah, E. Yeah, I see that.
That's why I put it up there, because I saw that announcement. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, go and dig in the API. Yeah, they got an API and I'll stick it on. So there's a lot, right? I mean, we've got BitCub. That's one of the ODL quote unquote.
There's Bitthumb in South Korea, which is a really, it's one of the most active exchanges in the world. Yeah, I can see Coin One. I can see
there's Independent Reserve down in Australia. This is, I think, Stang, I think that's Singapore. Let me just, I can validate that quickly for you. Yes, Stang.
Liquid is, I think, Singapore too.
Stang is Thai baht.
Oh, is it? Okay. Check Liquid. I think Liquid is.
Yeah, Liquid is Singapore. So
yeah.
Liquid is Euro. This is Indonesia. No? Is this Indonesia? Or, yeah, I think that's Indonesian pair. Japan, USD, and Singapore dollar. The other one that does a lot of fiat as well, which is the one that I've been monitoring more and I think has got more, I don't know, that's my gut feeling, is going to be Kraken. I think.
You think Kraken going to be?
I think there's more to come from Kraken than what meets the current crypto media.
Really?
Kraken. Yeah, I think their understanding of all the laws and the way everything's put together, I think they're going to be one step ahead of everyone else.
With their new registration in Wyoming?
Yeah. What's that lady? Catalina? Catalin?
Oh, Caitlin Long.
Yeah, she's on top of everything.
She is.
I think her way of positioning that company is going to be a real key or gem at the end of the day for any of the cryptos going forward.
Her Avanti Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I think
Kraken going for their license as well. And you know, Ripple's got the Ripple Way Wyoming.
Yep.
So we don't know exactly what they're doing. Do you know? You have a funny look on your face. You've got a very interesting smile. What do you know? What do you know?
No, nothing like that. That's just where my suspicions are, right? I mean, everyone here in this market is kind of like oohing and hawing and humming and hooing and hawing, like, where is it going to happen? And that's where I've got my suspicions.
Yeah, I've been trying to turn over rocks, you know, often since that registration went through. I'm not able to come up with anything solid yet. So I thought by your smirk, you knew something.
I wish.
Yeah, I'm trying to, you know, I know now that a lot of the people within ODL and they really know how to move in a stealth mode because they know there are so many people in the community searching really, really, really deep for any sort of nugget they can find.
Yeah.
So I know they do a really good job at hiding that from us. It's funny. I'm sure it's a little bit of a cat and mouse game, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
Well, Lathan, I think you've built something that's really beautiful, even just the way it is now. But I can see that as you find time to develop it and get inspiration from other places, I have a feeling you're going to just continually enhance and build out and add to this. And I think it's going to be, you know, really, really fun tool that everybody who is interested in the on-demand liquidity that uses the digital asset is going to use. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's a sneak peek. This is version 2 of the globe.
Yeah, this is something different. The you've got more. Yeah,
you can actually see, like I was saying, we can actually see the movement.
Yeah.
So that's how the payment will now be represented instead of those static lines. So
you actually see it move, and then once the transaction is over, the line disappears.
Yeah, that's the goal over here. And then I can actually show you, since I'm wanting to show more 3GS, I would like to show, if I may.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that gets more like when you see the actual line and then it disappears, it's getting closer to like Fiat leak. Not that this is comparable, but it, like, you see the flow and then it goes. And that could be visually really interesting to see the globe rendered out that way.
So if I go here and I'll just change this, where is that? I'll switch that off and I'll switch that on, save it, and come back. What have we got? The Ripple logo in place of the XRP logo for the map.
I don't see it. The XRP logo, you said?
So here is the Ripple logo.
Instead of zeros, I gotcha. It's the Triskelion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Before it was just X's and
yeah, let me just put the black on all the way.
I got you now.
Then it should show up better. There we go.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Or we can put the XRP logo. So we can come back down here, switch that off, switch that on, and then obviously it switches out, right? But I'm having problems with it. It's like not getting flat over here. So as I said, I'm still learning. I can't.
You're learning in terms of the 3D software, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to flatten that, but the best representation at the moment is still the circle, right?
Yeah. And
I can switch the color around to whatever I want, obviously.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, everybody.
That's what I'm doing. That's what's hopefully coming, where we can actually now kind of visualize, okay, that's the payment, and then we'll go off the map and then we'll represent the flow of XRP, I don't know, maybe through the globe underneath, like I can make this a wireframe or something, and then it will go that way. And then the other thing I'd like to do is like have spikes over here for the exchanges. And then based on the amount of XRP that it's selling, that spike will grow or shrink.
Right. Yeah, so you can tell the kind of the size of that flow.
Yeah, so I would say it's kind of real-time liquidity, right? It's the amount of liquidity moving through the exchange, real time.
Yeah.
And that's what that spike will be representing at the end of it. And hopefully obviously some little mouse tooltips to know, okay, that is actually Binance and that is, I don't know, whatever other exchange.
Ah, cool.
That's hopefully where this is going in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, so fun. Well, please send me a direct mail when you do get that going, so I can put it out that everyone should check the new version. Yeah, it's just going to be fun. I can see that this is going to have a lot of a lot of growth to it, I'm sure. Thank you so much for spending your time to do this also. You know, these kinds of tools take a lot of work. So thanks.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun. If you go and actually explore what 3GS can do, just go to, I think it's 3gs.org, and there's a link right on the front page that says examples. Click on that and go there. I think they've got like over 1,000 examples over there. Just go and click around and have a look.
3js.org. Okay, I'll put a link to it also in the description of the video so people can easily find it.
Yeah. The software is quite amazing what it can do. It does require a little bit. I'm taking a course to kind of like speed myself up a bit at the moment. And like maybe I'll go there to the courses website. Journey. So this is the 3D course. I don't want to really have. There we go. This is the 3D course that we're doing.
3.js.
Yeah, it's 3js-journey.xyz. And here you can kind of see this is a 3D piece.
Yeah,
that's going to appear.
Yeah.
And you can actually, this is interactive. You can click on it and you can start exploring.
Well, I think once you experience a 3D, we'll never go back. We'll never go back to 2D. Never.
Yeah, and like look at that. There's a galaxy over there that's being rendered, and the laser thing. I mean,
yeah, I see that. Oh yeah, right.
So like go and play, have a look around, see what it's capable of. Once you see what it's capable of, I think a lot more people will start playing with it, and hopefully I can inspire a couple more people to come along so we can get some more knowledge together and learn and put the data. I think a lot of these 3D things, they have to implement fancy functions like your, I don't know, sine, cosine, and they put them all together and build out wavelengths and so forth to get a lot of these models to do things. And they do that because they don't have random data or data in a pattern to do these things. However, because we've got this live XRP ledger that's spreading out all this information all the time, what a more beautiful place than to source all of that from there and use that data inside these 3D models and build out something, I think, pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. Oh, the technology advancements are happening fast and really getting more interesting. And this 3D look is, I think, really very appealing. It's very attractive. And it's interactive too with the person who's on the other end with the mouse. So I think that is engaging to a point where I think websites are going to be so fun to visit, to see what people are building. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I can't wait to see the next phase in web design with this kind of technology.
Yep.
Superb. Yeah. Well, Lathan, I want to thank you don't forget to DM me when you have an enhancement that you want everyone to know about, because I want to just keep following your progress. And yeah, let's keep it going and try to really help everybody understand what is going on with on-demand liquidity and where it's active. And everybody really is very, very interested in tracking that activity.
Likewise.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna say goodbye to you, and I want you to have a really good evening, and thanks for spending the time with us. Take
Thank you,
care.
Gary. Cheers.
All righty. Bye-bye.